Let's review some of the things that we talked about. What are some of the systems that help keep your vehicle running properly?
Your engine and your transmission.
Yep.
Yeah.
Your brake system?
Your brake system, okay, yeah. Anybody else?
Coolant system.
Coolant system, okay, good, good. What other system?
Powertrain.
Powertrain, yeah, that gives you power to your back wheels.
The alternator.
Alternator, that, yeah, it helps keep the battery charged. It distributes power to the battery so it'll charge and maintain its capacity. Good. Anybody else?
Power steering.
Power steering fluid helps keep the steering nice and smooth so you don't hear those big squeals when you turn left or right. If you guys ever hear that, you got to go check your fluid because it's low. If you're squealing when you turn right or left, maybe you need a repair, but check your fluid first, your power steering fluid. Okay, why do you need to know your vehicle system? Remember that?
So if you ever have a problem with your vehicle, you can figure out the problem and solve it.
Yeah, and also if you go to get help from somebody else, they're going to want to know what kind of system you have. Is it a 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder? You know, especially if you're getting parts or bulbs or things, they're going to want to know the specs on your car. You know, what size engine it is, what kind of car it is.
Your mechanic's going to want to know what your problems are.
Yep, yep. What fluids are important to a vehicle?
Then you got your transmission fluid,
Okay,
your brake fluid,
Okay.
your oil, yeah,
Okay.
stuff like that.
good.
All important.
What other fluids? Antifreeze, okay.
Windshield wiper, power steering.
Windshield wiper, power steering.
Yes.
Gas, yeah, you gotta have gas to keep it going. Any other fluids? I'm sorry? That wouldn't be as much fun. Okay. How do you check your tire condition? Anybody remember that from the videos?
With a quarter. Or tire pressure gauge.
Yeah, pressure, yeah, tire gauge. And then the coins we use to check the amount of tread that we have on there and whether it's safe or not. So remember 3 conditions that we could have with the tires? They could be under pressure, overpressure, just right, just like 3 bears, remember?
Way bad.
Okay, if the tire pressure is underinflated, what happens to the tire?
Doesn't have all the tread on the road.
Yeah, and it'll wear excessively how? If it's underinflated?
The outsides.
Outsides, that's right. If it's overinflated, where is it going to wear?
Inside.
Okay. And how do we get the best traction and the best gas mileage?
35.
Just right.
Right, when your tire pressure is what the manufacturer recommends. You can see that in the door. You can also check that out in the owner's manual. It will tell you what is the proper pressure for your car. Okay, how do we change a tire? What's the very first thing we should check before we change your tire?
Loosen the lug nuts.
Well, the very first thing is we better make sure that we've got a tire to change it with.
Oh yeah.
So we want to check for our
Pressure.
spare saver tire, or if it's a regular tire. We also want to know what the condition of the tire is. If it is that flat, because we haven't checked the air pressure on it. Do you remember in the video when they said how often we should check the tire pressure in the spare?
15,000
Every month.
Every month, right. So first you want to make sure you have a spare tire, and then there's multiple places that it can be where they can have a spare tire. Where in addition to the trunk can they put a spare tire?
Underneath the car.
Underneath the car, where else?
On the back door.
On the back door, those are some of the places, yeah. And then what do we need to change the tire? So we need the spare tire,
The jack.
the jack,
The wrench.
right, the lug wrench. We should probably check the owner's manual to make sure that we put the jack in the right place where it's going to support the car properly. When we do want to change a tire, where should we change the tire?
Safe spot.
Safe spot, right. So we want to be off the road. We want to be where we're not endangered by passing traffic if we can. We want to be on a flat level surface, right? And then
Visible.
visible, yeah. If you have like a vest or something in your car, you know.
Just like don't do it at the top of the hill.
Right, a flat level surface. Some of the things that we should do is make sure that the car is in park. We should apply our emergency brake so that the car doesn't roll at all. And then we would put the jack in place. Before we jack it up, we'd want to try and break loose the lug nuts. And like I said, you know, sometimes those are really hard. When I do it, I have to put my foot on there and just gently push down on there and try and put my body weight into it to break loose those lugs because they're on really tight. You get those loose, and then you can raise up the vehicle. Like they said in the video, it doesn't have to be up very high, just enough so that the tire spins freely. And then you finish taking off the lugs after they've been loosened up. Change the tire, put the other one on, tighten up the lugs the best you can before you lower it down to the ground, and then give it an additional tightening once it's down on the ground so that the tire won't spin at all when you try to tighten the lugs. Okay, how about how do we do safely jump a battery? Remember that from the video?
Check to make sure there's no damage to the battery.
Right, because we don't want any liquid coming out. We don't want any gases coming from the battery. Good. And then when we use jumper cables, how do we apply them?
Positive, negative, and electric.
So positive to positive. Negative, we want to put it on some type of the frame or the engine rather than the negative post. And then the jump start, like I said, that's just like it's got its own battery, and that's another way to jump it. Okay, good.